All right, as promised, we have the MacBook Pro here, the M5. This is the 14-inch. They do not have an M5 Pro, no M5 Max. There's no 16-inch version of this either in the M5. Obviously, we'll probably see those higher-end models, the M5 Pro, the M5 Max later, or next year, I should say. But we have this. It's a space black. You can also get it in silver. So without further ado, let's get this out of the box. Now, I am expecting an upgrade in terms of performance, although I think if you have the M4 MacBook Pro, which is what I'm coming from in this particular unit, I don't think most of you need to upgrade it. But for the sake of science and for the channel, we're going to do it and see how this is going to turn out. And I'm hopeful that this is good enough performance in terms of video editing that I can get away with not having to go with the more expensive M5 Pro or M5 Max, which will be coming out next year. It'll be a lot more expensive, I'm anticipating. But let's get this out of the box. Hey, everybody, it's Andrew, and this is the M5 MacBook Pro 14-inch, brand new for 2025, coming up. All right, so we have the pull tabs here. So we already know that deal, so we can just do that and get that out of the way here. And this is, of course, a model that I bought here. I'll put the specs on the screen, and you can see exactly what I got here. I did go for the 32 gigabytes of memory, a terabyte of storage, and the nano texture display. I think all in, it was about $2,400 or so, something like that. So there it is. Pretty familiar with this design, obviously, by now. And then, of course, you get a braided USB Type-C cable, and you can see that it's black to match the space black. And you get some stickers here. Oh, no more stickers, right? I keep saying that, but they did away with the stickers. You do get a polishing cloth, and you do get some documentation, how to clean the display, stuff like that, kind of like what we saw with the iPad Pro. And then, of course, you get this upgraded adapter. Now, I went with the higher wattage one because why not? I did it, and it's right here. So there you go. That is everything in the box. Okay, we have the unit itself here. Let's take it out of this, and there it is, and get a good look at it because it will never be this clean again. I can guarantee you that. That's the one downfall of the Space Black, although it looks great. It does start to wear and tear a little bit after a year. I'll show you my 14-inch that I've been using with the M4 for the past 6.5, 7 months, I guess. Maybe more than that, actually. But there it is. It's pretty good. It's a little bit of heft on it, and of course, it does have some thickness to it. But they do add the ports that we wanted, of course. One problem here, no Thunderbolt 5 like you get on the M4 Pro, the M4 Max, that you don't get on the base model. That's a little bit disappointing. We don't get the upgraded N1 chip, so you don't get Wi-Fi 7. That's a big disappointment. You do get it on the M5 iPad Pro, and that's a little bit different. We don't get cellular option. Obviously, they never do that on this, which is one of my big complaints. I'd like to see a Wi-Fi cellular combo like we get on the iPad Pro. And obviously, we get 5G on a lot of Windows laptops nowadays, especially business users. So I'd like to see that. All right, let's take a look at the ports on this, and we've seen these ports before. On the left side, you get your MagSafe port, 2 Thunderbolt 4 ports, and a headphone jack. That's all on the left side. On the right side is your full-size SD card reader, a 3rd Thunderbolt port, and an HDMI 2.1. And that rounds out the ports. Again, no Thunderbolt 5 for this, so that's a little disappointing. Of course, you could do the you-know-what test with this. We've seen that before many times. And there is the nano texture display. And look, you can get a look at it there. Beautiful display there. I do like it. Now, it is mini LED. I like that. It looks fine, but I'd rather have a tandem OLED. We don't get that yet, so hopefully that will be coming. Let's get this set up. So I'll say English right there. And let's move along here. So let's go next. Transfer from a Mac. So I'm going to do that. All right. I have my M4 MacBook Pro that I'm transferring from. Hopefully it won't take too long. And this also has the nano texture display. All right. So let's say from a Mac, continue. All right. And no hearing that now. Let me set up my Wi-Fi. Hold on. Looking for other sources. So I'm going to connect this. Let's see if we connect this. We connected one there and then one here. This Thunderbolt cable, and you can see that what I'm doing there. And let's see if this is going to do it. Transfer data from this Mac. So migration assistant opened up here. So we're going to say continue. And let me put the password. Okay. And it's setting it up. All right. So I'm transferring it to another Mac. Continue. Discoverable as Andrew's MacBook Pro. All right. And again, I'm using a Thunderbolt cable here. Hopefully that will speed things up. All right. That is the same code. So continue. Looking for applications and other documents to transfer. So it's going to take everything from this Mac to this Mac. All right, now it's telling me over here, transfer all your data. So I'm going to say yes, continue that. All right, transfer, create a password, set password. Let me do that. So we're transferring from my old MacBook Pro to this one. Now it's transferring, it's saying about 30 minutes. So we'll see 28 minutes. So it's going down as it's going along here. So hopefully it won't take 30 minutes, or now it's saying 26. So we'll see how long this will take. All right, it says it completed the migration. A restart is required. So let me restart it. All right, so I've been using the MacBook Pro for about 24 hours, maybe not quite 24 hours, but I've been using it. I transferred everything from my M4 Pro to this, or my M4, I should say, not the Pro, but the M4 14-inch to this same one, M5 14-inch. Physically, they're the same. I didn't see any difference between the two, although I do have now 36 gigabytes of unified memory as opposed to 16. So that's going to definitely help. Keyboard is still pretty smudge prone. Of course, that I'm not crazy about. I don't love the notch on this. I absolutely love the nano texture display. It's one of my favorites, if not the favorite. And I just wish they would move to an OLED or tandem OLED display already. I can't wait till that happens. So hopefully that will happen soon. And I would like a touchscreen display. And while we're at it with a list of things that I'd like, I would also like cellular Wi-Fi, right? So we have the Wi-Fi here and cellular. That would have been a great combination here to have it always on 5G, just like you can with the M5 iPad Pro. But that being said, this does not have the N1 chip. What does that mean? No Wi-Fi 7. Another thing that's a little bit of a negative here. Wi-Fi 6E, there's nothing wrong with it, but Wi-Fi 7 would be more future-proof. So that is one thing I am definitely noticing here with that. The keyboard's okay. You know, it's not my favorite as far as typing on it. I do like a ThinkPad better. I like some of the Dell keyboards better. This one, for some reason, I'm not as accurate. And like I said, plenty of smudges here. But I do absolutely love the trackpad or the touchpad, force pad, whatever you want to call it. It is haptic. It is responsive. Scrolling, gestures, everything works amazingly. It is a pretty great, and it is still the standard here for 2025. Sound out of this is excellent. Of course, these are the best speakers in the business as far as I'm concerned. So that is once again present here. So I would say overall, it's a very good buy if you're coming from an M3, an M2, maybe something before that. M1 certainly 6 times performance is what they're saying. So I would say that's worth it. But if you're coming from an M4, it really is not worth the upgrade. It's more of an iterative upgrade than it is a revolutionary upgrade. So let me know what you think in the comment section below. I will say this, though, I am happy with it. And if I can get away with having to go with the M5 Pro or the M5 Max whenever that will be released, of course, we know that will be more expensive. So if I can save some money, get away with editing in Final Cut Pro, DaVinci Resolve, this certainly fits the bill. And one final note, when it comes to performance, one thing I did notice here is the best single core score I've ever seen on Cinebench 2024, getting 199, which is pretty freaking amazing. Great single, great multi-core. It's actually better than the M4. And again, like I said, best single core performance I've seen to date. Of course, I got to still do my full testing. I will put it up against some premium 14-inch laptops from the Windows side, specifically the Dell Pro 14 Premium or the Dell Pro Max 14 Premium that I will take a look at next to this. Of course, there's some others as well. So as a final thought here, is it worth upgrading from the M4 to the M5? Probably not. I think you're perfectly fine staying with that. It's a nice little upgrade in terms of the single and multi-core performance, but not enough to justify the going from an M4 to an M5. If you're coming from, say, an M1 or maybe an M2, yeah, you can definitely want to upgrade for certain. I think that might be a worthy upgrade, especially the M1. But again, any of the later stuff, the newer stuff, I don't think you need to upgrade. Save your money. But that's at least my initial impression so far. I have very specific use case scenario, and specifically Final Cut Pro is important to me. So I'm going to keep it for that. But again, if I was a normal consumer, which I'm not, I readily admit, this would not be in the cards, because if I have the M4 already, I see no compelling reason to upgrade. And I think they missed a few things here, like not having the N1 chip, so you don't get Wi-Fi 7, no cellular. Once again, that's something I'd like to see on these. I'd like to see a tandem OLED display. I'd like to see a few other things as well. Now, they did increase the graphics. They did increase the CPU, GPU in this. It's actually better than the M4, but is it worth the difference in having to shell out all that money? Probably not. And I think for most people, you're perfectly safe staying with what you have right now. But of course, I'm curious to know what you think. Let me know in the comments section below. So please hit the like button, please subscribe, please share this video. Don't forget to leave a comment in that comment section below. And if you are a casual viewer of my content, why not hit that subscribe button? It doesn't cost you anything. Help support the channel as we're making our push for 300,000 subscribers by the end of the year. If you're gonna buy something like the MacBook Pro or the iPad Pro, check out the links in the description below. They may or may not be affiliate with Apple. It's kind of funny that way. But if it is, then it helps support the channel, helps keep the lights on here in the studio. So until next time, this is Andrew, and I'll see you in the next video.